Next and second worst SJW part of Infinity War has to do with Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, who, besides a quick fight with Thanos at the beginning, well, besides that, we hardly even see the Hulk in this movie. After he loses to Thanos, the Hulk refuses to come out for Banner, who is then stuck in his human form for almost the whole movie. And at face value, that might not seem like such a bad thing. It sounds like they're trying to mix things up a bit, but when you combine this with the disrespect from Shuri, well, it's starting to seem like the Hulk is a victim of the SJW agenda here. Think about it. The Hulk is the biggest and strongest and, dare I say, most manly Avenger. Do you really think it's a coincidence that he all of a sudden can't Hulk out here too? He's basically got erectile dysfunction, or Hulk-rectile dysfunction, I guess. So to me, it really seems like the SJWs are trying to neuter the most manly character in the Avengers. And this low-key attack on men is also a two-pronged approach, because not only does the movie neuter the Hulk, the manliest character, they also buff all the girl characters and make them overly smart and skilled, for little more reason than to say girl power a couple times. There's also a giant midget in the movie. That's right, he's the guy from Game of Thrones, and he's also the one the Hulk goes to in the movie to have him make a new weapon to fight Thanos. And I think having midget, dwarf, little person representation is certainly something a radical leftist, pro-diversity, anti-ableist SJW would be all for. Another SJW point some could argue would be with Vision, who's a half-robot, half-alien hybrid, who's also trying to transition into being human. Yep, Vision is a transhuman if you think about it, even trying to put on this fake human form in some of the scenes. There's also a big plot point where Shuri operates on Vision, trying to remove his Infinity Stone that's on his head. Does that sound familiar? Well, to me that sounds almost like a sex change operation, but instead of removing his cock, Vision is getting his Infinity Stone removed. Pretty degenerate, nonetheless.
It's amazing. I don't like to get on the subject of evolution with atheists because they just freak out. They're like, oh my, I can't believe you don't believe in evolution. Why would I? It's stupid. You have to actually defy science. Oh, it's scientific. Well, what about this? Oh, I never thought of that. Oh, I never really even crossed my mind. Because we live in a school where it's just fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. They're not taught to logic. They're not taught to reason. I thank God I was in a home where I at least got taught how to logic, you know? And you know what all these atheists have in common? You know, they've been attacking us online. They put out a little 2-hour documentary trying to expose the one pastor and I put out, and Brother Brandon put out a 2-hour documentary. You know what all these atheists have in common? Video games. They all play video games. And Harry Potter, you get on their channel, they're in fantasy land. That's all they ever do. They can't think for themselves. They sit back and they drink Coke all day and sit behind a video game system and then wonder why, you're crazy, Brother Powell, for believing in a creator. Oh, you're insane. No, you're crazy, and you need to get off the video game system, and somebody needs to preach to them the gospel of Jesus Christ, and so that they can be saved. That's what we need. And I'm sick and tired of these stinking video games messing with people.
Millennials are having less sex than any other generation in the last 60 years. You can blame feminism for that. What's up, guys? This is Will Whip from PragerU. We've got men being turned into beta males and women being told that men are evil. I mean, it's really no wonder that millennials are having less sex. From a very early age, boys are told not to be boys by feminists. Don't make gun sounds, don't be aggressive, don't roughhouse, don't be anything that actually makes a boy a boy. And as men get older, it only gets worse. Men are being told that they're probably going to be a rapist, and that they're evil, and that they're oppressing women all the time. And these men, they feel defeated. They don't feel like they can talk to women, so they go home, they watch porn, they don't feel like men. And feminism doesn't just stop with men. It tells women that they shouldn't be feminine. It tells them that men shouldn't approach them, that they don't need men in their lives at all. And then these women, they push men away, they don't talk to men, and then by the age of 40, they have no children, they're alone, and they're sad, and they're miserable. And so men aren't even approaching women to start any sort of sexual encounter. And so therefore, instead of men actually going out and trying to meet women, hit on women, they go on Tinder and they swipe and they just talk to women online in their basement. And with all the swiping right and the DMing on these social media apps, I mean, it makes sex just physical, so why would a guy not go home and just watch porn? I need an emotional connection, girl! And then, even on top of that, men are being told that every single thing they do is probably going to be sexual assault. If people want to have less sex, I think that's fine. But when the reason is because men are too scared to even talk to women, I think you have a problem.
Obama was a terrible president. He was the worst in United States history. Obama was just as bad as Hitler, was just as bad as Mao, was just as bad as Stalin. Barack Osama Obama, I call him Obama, was the worst president in United States history. So yeah, if you voted for him, think very carefully about what you did. But this is not the topic of the video. The topic of the video is Adolf Hitler was a liberal socialist. Fact. In fact, he was a liberal socialist. Adolf Hitler was very much a hardcore liberal socialist. He hated communism. Hitler hated fascism. Hitler was a socialist. That is a fact. And he murdered my people. Hitler murdered my ancestors. So this topic is very dear to my heart because I'm Jewish. And I'm an Orthodox Jew. I do eat pork, but other than that, I follow the Jewish religion to a T. I'm very much Jewish. I'm more Jewish than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a fake Jew who belongs to the Nazi Democratic Party, which the Democratic Party is owned by an ex-Nazi, George Soros. Yes, the Democratic Party is owned by an ex-Nazi, so therefore that makes Bernie Sanders a Nazi, that makes Barack Obama a Nazi, that makes Bill Clinton a Nazi, that makes Bernie Sanders a Nazi, that makes Nancy Pelosi a Nazi, that means Maxine Waters is a Nazi, that means all Democrats are Nazis. That's a fact. Fucking fact, deal with it. Go fuck yourself, you Nazi Democrats. You socialist pig.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a comment and let us know what you think about this down below, and share this video with a friend.